Hey, Bomb Moto here. Our B1 chassis drops at the end of July. We wanted to do a quick update on the bike and do a comparison to the Mototec. As you walk up on the chassis, you realize it's much different. The stance, really everything. And we'll get into the details in a second. Mototec's been a great bike. It's been around for a long time, called different things in the US and throughout the world. Good frame for what it was for a 10-year run, but now it's time for something different. So let's talk about the Mototec style first. Comes with non-hydraulic brakes, a very soft front suspension, a short handlebar set, again non-hydraulic brake setup. These oversized flarings that are notorious for breaking off to these kind of front hangers, a battery compartment that was never intended for anything other than the 48 volt that it had, undersized pegs, a motor that's built into the swing arm that is set for, I think, a nominal 1600. Again, brakes here, and really more like a razor or something in the type of swing arm that it was designed for. Seating that's hard and set too far forward. Again, its intended rider is probably 8 years old, whereas something set further back and softer would have been nicer. But this is the larger model. It's got the 14-inch front wheel and the 12-inch back wheel. Half twist throttle. That's the Mototec that you guys are very familiar with. Let's talk about the B1. All the things that we just talked about are improved. So Moto style hydraulics on the front, a much stiffer suspension on the front, adjustable front handlebars with 2 positions, front and rear, on the triple tree, a full twist throttle that you may or may not use in your mod, but we threw one on there anyway. Hydraulic brakes that are true to form for motorcycles. Comes with a reservoir, banjo connections, dot mineral oil is what you would use there. The seating, much different, much softer, further back, slightly wider, but not overly wide. The flarings are the right size and a much stiffer plastic, so they're not breaking off or notoriously flimsy as the other ones were. A bigger battery compartment that's really more square in nature. Does it follow the form of the original Mototec? Yes, on the frame. But if you look at the plastic has actually been formed to be more of a square and support a bigger battery. So our battery will be somewhere to the 24 to 30 amp hours. Others might be able to fit bigger batteries here. A compartment up here that supports a controller and an arm inside that does, as well as for some of the smaller controllers, there's actually a compartment in the rear underneath the seat that could support that. A third position that now is more of an option is the front plate if you wanted to screw on or through it. Easier to take on and off the battery case. There's 2 spaces here that are giving a lot more airflow into a motor that's now protected. Let's talk about the motor. It's 3,000 nominal, so it can handle a lot more wattage. We're going to say to tap it out at 5 kilowatts, but I know others are going to go beyond that. It's not on the swing arm, right? This is an unsprung motor, just as you'd see in a motorcycle. You got chain stays here and a bigger chain. The chain is on the original Mototec 219H. This is a T8F or 8mm chain. Still the same size wheels, front and back. Also on the rear wheel is a chain guard. This area is notorious for sticks and other things doing damage to the chain, so a good improvement there. Moving on to the pegs, these are full width. These are probably twice the width of the original Mototec, so pretty cool there. Again, I mentioned the scoops, kind of keeping everything cool, so kind of a cool swing arm setup and guide there. As we move up to the handlebars, really no noise. These are 2 inches wider, something that's needed. A little bit bigger frame, bigger bike, so it's nice to have a bigger width of the handlebars. Within this is a, these are 2 gauges. You can originally plan for I think the thrust and speed or something of the bike, but these could be reused for lights or taken out altogether and put other gauges either in it or on it, which is pretty cool. Last thing here is the ignition itself. Pretty cool. So this is now mounted as opposed to within the chassis going this way, which was an awkward fit. It's a much better key, a much better welded setup, and something that feels a lot more moto. So that's it for the B1. Just wanted to give you an overall review of it. This is the B1 chassis. Go to www.bombmoto.com. It drops at the end of July. We'll also have a 72 volt battery there for you. Thanks.